Well, hey there, Mama, and welcome back to the Mom's Overcoming Overwhelm podcast, episode number 249. I'm Emily McDermott, and I'm here beside you on this journey as we work together to declutter your home, head, and heart. Well, it has been a difficult season for me as I recently moved. I am recording this podcast the night before it's supposed to come out because I've been doing this almost 4 years, and I'm like, I have to do this. I have no choice. So today we're going to be talking about how two things can be true at the same time. That I am tired, I am exhausted, I haven't been sleeping well, and I want to make sure that I'm honoring a commitment to myself and to all of you by being able to provide you with some decluttering guidance. And specifically, we're going to be talking about how this one mindset shift of two things being true can really help us when it comes to decluttering, which can oftentimes feel like an either or type of proposition. So grab that notebook and pen and let's dive into today's episode. Hey Mama, are you tired of your cluttered home and mile-long to-do lists but are too overwhelmed to know where to start? Do you lack the time and motivation and don't think you'll ever conquer the clutter? You're in the right place. I'm Emily, wife, boy mom, and declutter coach who has overcome the overwhelm in my own life through decluttering and simplifying. I believe every mom deserves the peace that comes from a clutter-free home. Ready to get your life back? Let's declutter your home, head, and heart together. All right, well, this episode is going to be pretty short and sweet, but I do think it is going to be really helpful because I talk often about the mindset shifts that help us in decluttering. I actually have a resource about 5 mindset shifts that I'll be sure to link today. But what made me think of this particular episode is that one day recently, my son Andrew said to me, "Mom, how do you feel about the move?" And I thought that was a really kind and insightful question. And I was very honest with him. And I said, buddy, I am happy and sad, which is true because I'm very happy to be close to family. In a lot of ways, moving back to the area where I grew up feels like coming home. And I definitely miss my friends and the community that we had there and everything. And around the same time, I was driving them home from camp and it was pouring rain. And when you think about pouring rain, normally you think of stormy skies, but it was pouring rain when it was as sunny could be. And just made me think, like most times we think, okay, if it's storming, it's cloudy. And if it's sunny, it's not raining. However, sometimes those two very different things can be true at the same time. So one of the reasons decluttering is hard, it's hard, I would say, mostly because it's decision making. But at the crux of it, it seems like a tension to me between two dichotomous things. You keep it or you let it go, right? We've all kind of had our piles, right? Keep pile, donate pile. And so keeping it or the status quo is the most comfortable option. Whereas letting go, there's an unknown there. Am I going to regret letting it go? And that can be hard. And so we are playing kind of this game of this or that. And a lot of times it makes decluttering as such that we don't even want to do it because we don't want to be faced with that dichotomous decision making. But our lives are nuanced, and so is our relationship with stuff. Kind of like it's pouring rain and the sun is shining, right? It's not one thing or the other. And so how do we see two things being true as we work through decluttering? I have some examples for you. I've also linked to some episodes where we go through some of these mindsets that hopefully will be helpful. So the first is I can love something and I can let it go. Of course, we've probably heard the old adage, if you love something, let it go, or someone. But in this case, why would we let something go if we love it? Well, it could be that we're moving and we don't have the space for it in our new home, or we just want to make room for something better in our lives, or we know that the thing has memories attached to it. However, we can say goodbye to that sentimental item and still keep the memories. So that's one example where we can love something, we can have an attachment to it, and we still have the opportunity to let it go. Another example is that we can use something regularly and we don't have to own it, which seems very strange in our American culture. If we feel like we need something, we're going to go ahead and buy it. We go on Amazon, done. But we can borrow it. I mean, the library is a perfect example of this. I read all the time, and I do not own practically any books because I borrow them. There's also tool libraries. There's your Buy Nothing group where you can borrow things. So not only is it a great way to build community, but it's preventing us from cluttering our lives. And so just kind of shifting that thought that just because I use something doesn't mean I have to own it. Someone else can own it and I can enjoy that by borrowing it is a great mindset shift to have. Okay, the third one that I came up with is that I can recognize what the culture around me tells me I should own or should keep, and know that I can choose what I own in alignment with my own values. So one example of this that I have given is my yearbook, my high school yearbook, that I owned it for a long time because that's just what you do. You should have your high school yearbook because you might want to refer back to it. Well, I realized that I never looked at it, and then when I did look at it, I didn't really remember most of the people, and it just didn't fill me with happy memories. So I scanned some of the pages and I let it go. And that's okay because it was more in alignment with my values not to have something that others said I should keep. Another example of this is my wedding dress. Now, I will say for a while after I got married, I think my mom cleaned it and kept it in her house. In retrospect, I would have just taken it right away and probably would have donated it because, well, I guess I didn't know at the time I was going to have boys. But even if I maybe had had daughters, I think sometimes we just have this cultural norm as women, like we should hold on to our wedding dresses. But now I know several people in their 30s and 40s and beyond that are like, why do I have this wedding dress? And it's just taking up all of this space, right? So again, why are you holding on to it? If you have a reason that is in alignment with your values, then great. But if it's a should, then let it go. Okay? So I also am it's kind of funny. My husband makes fun of me because we moved our china hutch and all of our china. And he's like, we never use that. And of course, there's that should of, oh, well, I got it for my wedding because I should, and I should be entertaining and I should be doing this. But I wouldn't be surprised within the next 5 years or so, maybe less, if I would be getting rid of that because honestly, I can't justify keeping all of it because, yeah, we barely use it. Okay, the next one is more about our identity. I can honor the person I used to be and let go of something I no longer use. So this has more to do with aspirational clutter. So when it comes to things we used to things we used to wear, things we used to do, like our crafting supplies, maybe some things, in the kitchen that we're like, oh, I'm going to be this amazing baker. So you have like all of these like baking supplies and pans and stuff, but you don't do that. It's easy to just say, oh, well, I will someday, or, oh, it's just not a good idea now. But if it's causing you stress or anxiety, or it's making you feel bad about yourself, then you can kind of look at this way of thinking of, I can honor the fact that I used to be able to wear these jeans and they looked great on me. And I know that I can let go of them because I'm just in a different season right now and in a different size, and I can embrace what I look like right now. And the last one is that I can care about where my things will end up when I donate them and not be paralyzed by the decision. This really is a huge one, that people want to find the absolute perfect place to donate things, which doesn't necessarily exist. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do your due diligence to find places, especially if they are, again, in alignment with your values. So perhaps you want to support refugees or women's shelters or something like that. That's great. But just knowing that I can make the best choice I possibly can with the information I have, knowing that if I just keep this because I can't find the perfect place, I'm wasting my space, I'm wasting my time and my energy taking care of it. So those are just some of the ways that we can look at a both and approach rather than an either or when it comes to decluttering, because decluttering doesn't have to feel like this prison, like you feel like you're trapped when you're making these decisions. Knowing that two things can be true at the same time, you can think about things a bit differently than other people because you're building a life that's outside of these shoulds and these cultural norms of consumerism and more for the sake of more, and you should hold on to this because what if, and that kind of stuff. And you're really building something intentional that, again, is in alignment with your values and your family's values. So I hope that this short episode was helpful to you. Thank you for bearing with me through the summer months as I have been airing some episodes on that I've had interviews on other podcasts, and I really appreciate you listening. And so I will see you next week. Bye for now. Hey Mama, thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's show, could you please share this episode with another mom who is feeling overwhelmed? Also, it would mean the world to me if you could leave a 5-star written review wherever you listen to your podcasts. Finally, if you would like more support, come on over to our free Facebook group, tinyurl.com/moms overcoming overwhelm. Can't wait to connect with you soon.